Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the North Devon Climate Summit. As it's 10 o'clock, anyone who's worked with me before knows I like to start things on time. So thank you, everyone, for coming. This is going to be a sort of changing number of people who are here, and I know a few of you are still down as attendees, will be upgraded to the panelist section before you are due to speak. So this event has come ahead of COP26 to make sure that North Devon's voice is heard. So it's fantastic to have so much interest in the event across the constituency, and delighted to see names that I recognise in the panel of attendees already this morning. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Selaine Saxby. I'm the MP for North Devon. I was elected in December 2019. I've always described myself as a bluey-green sort of Tory, and caring for the environment up here when we live somewhere as beautiful as we do is obviously absolutely vital. And so for the team up here, people like Andy Bell at the Biosphere, who already do such great work in this space. It's a fantastic opportunity this morning for us to all actually hear their views. It's fantastic. We will be joined shortly by Lord Deben. I'm assured he's on his way, and to hear actually what is going on centrally in Westminster. At the end of today, my team and I will be pulling together a summary of sort of the thoughts and findings from today to go back to Alok Sharma, the president of COP26, and we will be joined at 10:30 by Catherine Fletcher, who is his parliamentary private secretary. So thank you to my team for pulling all of this together. Today's sort of housekeeping, how this works, if you've never been on a webinar from Zoom before, is there is a Q&A function. So if you have any questions, you can type your questions into the Q&A function, and we will do our best to answer them. Any panelists who are joining later panels, if you know the answers or want to answer, please do pop on and answer them. There are 3 questions already submitted, so I know a few people have pre-submitted for the first panel. I do already have those, so you don't need to retype those in. When I've finished the introductions, the first speaker is Lord Deben, who isn't taking questions this morning, and there will be a 5-minute break after him before the next session. So there's a comfort break built in for 5 minutes after each session, so that everyone can go and rush and get a cup of tea. So on the webinar format, we can't see you or hear you unless you're actually upgraded to this panelist session. And for those of you wondering what CEN is, it's the Conservative Environment Network, and thank you very much to them for helping us set this event up. I do a lot of work at Westminster with CEN, as do a number of my colleagues, where we really are working hard in the background to make sure that we do deliver the climate change targets that we need. And on a day where they're fighting to save the world's biggest trees in the States, I think it has really highlighted that the time is now, and we really do need to convert some of the conversations we've had in, well, I studied this at university some 25 years ago. So the conversations that we've had over the last decades really into action, and start to all do what we can to change our behaviour to make sure that we are actually doing the right thing and doing what we can to bring some fundamental change into our emissions. And I think the final panel today on blue carbon, looking at the other end of the spectrum and how carbon sequestration can potentially help, I think will be a really good opportunity to see some of the other things that can be done as the science moves on apace. And I think that's one of the things that is obviously very exciting as we move through this, as we move through transition, is how the science is changing and how things are actually developing as we move forward. So I'm hoping that my team are going to assure me that Lord Deben is with us. But if anyone does have questions for me, I'm very happy to answer them. So please do feel free to type them into the Q&A function. And my team are still tracking down Lord Deben, but Lord Deben is formerly the Right Honourable John Governor. He set up and now runs Sancroft, which is a corporate responsibility consultancy, and works with blue chip companies around the world on environmental, social and ethical issues. Lord Deben is chairman of the Committee on Climate Change, Valpac Limited, and the Personal Investment Management and Financial Advisors Association. He was the longest serving Secretary of State for the Environment, the UK has ever had from 1993 to 1997. His 16 years of top-level ministerial experience also include Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, Minister for London, Employment Minister and Paymaster General in Her Majesty's Treasury. And he has consistently championed an identity between environmental concerns and business sense. And I think one of my key takeouts from actually getting to net zero is to make sure that actually we are bringing everyone with us, and that link between policy and business to make sure that businesses can deliver the kind of change that we need, as well as us as consumers being able to actually take those choices and make sure that we are actually living a slightly more environmentally friendly life. So I am not going to witter on unnecessarily. I am going to wait for Lord Deben to join us, who will be hopefully delivering his keynote speech. And after that, we will go to a break before we go to panel 1, which is the road to COP26 and where to next. So thank you again to everyone for joining. Please feel free to dip in and out of the session. The link will work throughout the morning and you will just end up back in the session. And I hope that everyone enjoys it. And thank you very much for coming.